Gentleman yields. Mr. Hardiopolos from Florida is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have trouble with that name, too. No problem. Well, thank you very much for putting this together, Mr. Chairman. This has been very illuminating, especially as a first-year member of the committee, and it's very helpful to get us into the history of this, and it's been very helpful to get this going. And this is my first year in the Congress. We're trying to, I know the Congressman Moore and I, both new to the committee, are trying to kind of get under the hood and understand some of these things. As an outsider, we watched the FTX crisis happen, and we're kind of wondering, where was the oversight? And it was frustrating to see so many folks lose, in many cases, their life savings or significant savings, and the total disregard for their capital. One of the messages you'll hear from me consistently, not only today but throughout the year, is certainty and stability. To me, that is not only important in business, but in life, especially as you try to teach that to your kids. And what is a little frustrating is I tried to do my homework on this. I watched the videos from years past before Mr. Gensler, for example, was actually in the job in the government. His videos showed he was actually positive about the industry, thought it would be something productive and using the blockchain to make sure you had that certainty and understand what was happening. And yet, in some of the first few days in this committee, we've learned not only that agency, but also the CFPB is doing everything they can to move capital out of our own country and going to places like the UAE and Singapore. I mean, America is the land of opportunity and where capital, I think, can strive best. With that said, I think I'll just ask Mr. Graywall, if you don't mind. I know these rapid-fire questions. Let me give you a few minutes to walk me through what you went with. We all saw FTX and the lack of regulation. What did you all try to do in working with the regulators to say, we want to be regulated, we want to stabilize this industry? Walk me through this. You got a few minutes. I want to give you that opportunity because too often I'm watching these early days in Congress. It's wing, bang, bang. I want to hear your kind of thoughtful, laid out answers so people can understand what good companies are trying to do versus some of those bad actors.
Thank you, Congressman. I referenced earlier the invitation by the prior SEC chair to come in and register. This was Mr. Gensler's constant refrain to cryptocurrency firms like mine that were interested in following the law, but looked at the law and could see no legal basis upon which to pursue registration. Registration is a very important element of any sound oversight and sound regulatory framework and structure for firms, not just in our industry, but frankly in any industry. Over and over again, when we met with the SEC, as I said, dozens and dozens of times, when we presented ideas for a way for intermediaries like Coinbase to register, a way for issuers of the tokens themselves to submit disclosures that would better inform consumers who purchase these tokens, what it is they were buying, when we shared ideas and concepts for ways in which the SEC could coordinate its activities over securities tokens and securities transactions with those of the CFTC, which has authority over non-securities and commodities in particular, we thought we had an opportunity. And yet, after these dozens and dozens of meetings, we were simply invited to stand up, step outside, and never come back. And a short while after that, Congressman, we were hit with a lawsuit, and for the last 2+ years, my company and I have been in federal district court fighting an enforcement case where there is no allegation of fraud, no allegation of abuse, and we have tried at every turn to simply get rules that we can follow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Chairman yields. The chair now recognizes Mr. Moore of North Carolina for 5 minutes.